Hey everyone, good morning. Dennis K here. Hey, listen, yes, I did shave my beard and I got quite a severe haircut. My wife's not really happy with this, but hey, I got tired of looking gray down here, so I shaved it. Hopefully, I'm looking a bit younger today. Anyways, I had a really good call with a client of mine a couple weeks ago now, and they were commenting how Steph and I, in this life that we built for ourselves, he wishes he could do something like this, but he's just a little too risk adverse. Hopefully, I spelled that right. Adverse, risk adverse. Got to look that up in the dictionary. Should have thought about that before I posted this video. Anyway, and it kind of hit me when I was talking to him that because of social media, you're looking at our YouTube channels and our Instagram and everything, it seems like we just throw caution to the wind, up and leave the United States and move to Belize, and I'll spend our time between the French Riviera and Belize, and we travel. And all of that is despite the fact that I am extremely risk adverse. I am hesitant at every step of the way. I have anxiety with every decision that I make. And it might not seem like that, but there are things that I've learned to do to help mitigate some of that stress and anxiety, and to make sure that if I do take a step in a certain direction, whether it be buying a piece of real estate or exploring a new country on my own with my wife, that I do so safely and so that I don't feel panic when I do it, because that's the worst way to go through life. Is that, you want to try something new, something looks interesting, you want to live differently, but the entire time you're doing it, you're panicking. Oh my goodness, what if this doesn't work out? What if, what if, what if? So here are my top 4 things. And I hope you guys watch this video, because these are really things that have helped me. And I think that would help a lot of my clients, especially if you're sitting on the sidelines right now, you're watching the videos, you're looking at websites, you're talking to realtors, and you just haven't had that comfort level yet to move forward with something. There's something stopping you. It could be just a little bit of that anxiety of the unknown. And I'm not going to tell you that now's the right time either, because only you know that for sure. But here are some things that I have thought about and that have worked for Steph and I. Number one is I always test drive at the beginning. I never commit long term. Those of you who heard of our story of leaving United States in 2003 to move to Heddyville, I told my wife, I can give you 1 year. I had enough in savings. I had enough business built up that I knew I could go down to Belize, live on the mainland very, very cheaply, by the way. I'm talking no vehicle, a very simple house, no air conditioning. It was, living in the sticks of Belize. But I said, look, I can give you 1 year. That was my commitment level. So when I quit my job, I did so with the assurance from my company that I would be able to come back to work for them after a year, because they had a good reputation. Well, that company ended up going bankrupt. I never went back, but that's a different story. But I test drove Belize first. Then, when I decided I want to live there, okay, let's go see if we can make it work in San Pedro. So I got to San Pedro, got involved in some real estate that ended up working, but still, I never committed longer for than 6 to 12 months at a time, because I just didn't know for sure if it was going to work out. And I told myself, look, even if I move to Belize and I spend 1 year there, how cool is it? I was 33 at the time, that at age 33, my wife was 27, we got to experience this incredible sabbatical year in another country like Belize. I said, you know what, even if we go back to normal lives, whatever normal lives are anymore, at least we've had that experience. So I always test drive. And I test drive too when it comes to my investments. I don't go all in on property investments in Belize, even though I'm very comfortable in investing there. I take a little bit of time. I consider the neighborhood. All right. How much money do I have in my little war chest? How much of it do I want to invest right now? And especially at the beginning, I was extremely cautious about buying property, even properties that were at that time down around the $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 mark, because I just wasn't sure. So I test drove. I did one little investment, see how it worked, made another one or two, see how it worked. And that's the way I still approach all my investments today. I test drive before I go all in. Right now, I'm test driving the mainland. Steph and I bought a beautiful piece of property along the Caves Branch River. There's other opportunities around, but you know what? I'm not comfortable yet, going all in on this area. I'm going to test drive it, see how it works out, and then perhaps put some more assets there. And number two is always have a plan B. This is just me. Some people say burn the bridges. That way you can't go back. That's not my style. I always have a plan B. So when we moved to Belize, told Steph, my plan B is to go back to Michigan, get a job, go back to my old company or some other job, rebuy the house, cars, boats, all that kind of stuff. That was my plan B. And even right now, how we're working things out. We have permanent residency in Belize, temporary residency in the south of France. I'm always having a plan B. Even yesterday, I was looking around at some of the digital nomad opportunities in Europe, like Malta and Spain and Croatia. Not that I want to move to those countries, but I think in the world the way it is right now, full of turmoil, things can change on a dime. I'm always looking for a plan B. So even with Belize, I go, you know what? One of my investments doesn't work out there. Where else would I put some money today? Where else would I be comfortable investing some money? Should I put some money in an offshore bank account? Should I invest in some rental properties? I'm not necessarily going to do those things right now, but I have in my mind, okay, what are my plan Bs in different areas of life? All right. Well, it could be health and fitness, could be, friendships, could be whatever. Always have a little bit of a plan B, because to me, that makes going forward with plan A all that much more secure, right? So I feel more comfortable going in on plan B, knowing I have a backup. Number three is start smaller, start simpler. And I really recommend this with everybody. When you go down to Belize, hey, if you have the funds to go ahead and buy a house, fantastic. Buy yourself a house, go in, and fully furnished, turnkey, go in, move there, period. That can take a big outlaying of cash, pretty big investment. You're comfortable with that? Fine, But my suggestion is start small. Go down to Belize, rent somewhere. Pick up a rental for 6 or 12 months. You can't go wrong with a simple rental, even on Ambergris Caye. Ambergris Caye, Kyle, Hopkins, Placencia, Corozal. You want to go down there and live the life, go down there, just rent. Keep it simple. You want to take a next step? Keep it simple and buy a piece of land. Buy a piece of land, put a Mennonite house on. You know what? This looks like it's going pretty good. All right, sell the Mennonite house and build your dream house. But start smaller and start simpler. Give an example. When we left the United States, I thought we were coming back. So we put all of our household goods in storage. We put them in a storage unit. Some of it's down our parents' basement still today, 20 years later. But start small, baby steps. What is the most simplest thing you can do to make a step forward toward your dreams? All right. For us, that was saving money in a gigantic Coke bottle, plastic Coke bottle every single week so that we could even afford the plane tickets to go and check out the country of Belize and to stay for 3 weeks, which we did. So for me, that simple plan of putting $10 a week in this plastic jug reminded me of my dream to even get to Belize to see if it's somewhere that I wanted to live. And hey, that changed our lives, that one simple habit. So that could be for you, setting up a savings account, looking at your checking account, saying, you know what, I'm going to create a separate savings account. It's my Belize account. It could be my Belize vacation account, my Belize investment account, whatever it is. Start simple, watch how things progress from there. And then number 4, I think this is probably the one that I've meditated on the most. And I think what most people miss in life, especially when they look at investing their time and money into a new venture, there's always the fear, what if it doesn't work out? What if? All right. What if it doesn't work out? What you don't realize is that most of your time and money is wasted anyway. Look at how much time you spend playing around on Instagram or cutting your lawn or preparing meals. You might say, well, that's not wasted. That's just life. I know it's just life. But at the end of the day, what did you get out of expending all of your time in those activities? Just another day of life. Same thing with money, guys. When you look at your bills and your budget, how much money do you spend on electricity just to keep your lights on food, just so you can live? And I'm not talking about just rice and beans food. I'm talking about even, higher end quality food that you actually enjoy. How much do you spend on wine and bourbon? In my case, I spend a little bit of money on those things. How much do you spend on your car in maintenance and oil changes and all that? All right. So you add all that up. At the end of the day, you've got nothing in return other than another day, another week, another month of life. What I have found, what brings me personal joy is making these little investments in Belize. They don't have to be big, but just owning a little piece of real estate. And I know this is going to sound like I'm making a sales pitch, and it's not, but all of my clients, hey, if you own property, if you're watching this and you own property in Belize, just write in the comments below, how does that property make you feel? Even if it's a property that you're not using, it's just sitting there because it's raw vacant land. How do you feel when you get up each day, each week, each month, knowing that you have this little piece of dirt in Belize, could be on Ambergris Caye, could be on the mainland? How does it make you feel? Does that give you enjoyment? Does that give you hope for the future? Does that bring you a certain amount of satisfaction? Now compare whatever it is that you're paying for that property. Let's say you're paying $400 a month for it. Take another one of your bills, $400 electricity bill, car payment. Does that bring you the same joy and satisfaction? Does that fill you with inspiration for the future? Most of your time and money are wasted. Now, I'm not saying to waste your money or your time, but if you can put a little bit of that into, driving this dream of yours, if you have this dream of moving to Belize, living in Belize, investing in property, a little bit of time and effort doing that, even if at the end of all this, it didn't work out. All right, sell the property, go back to doing whatever you're doing, go on to your next plan B, whatever that is, make a pivot in your life. At least you would have put some focus and direction on this. And who knows where this might lead? This might lead even to bigger and better things. I know people that have started to invest in Belize who have done the Belize thing for a good 10, 15 years. And after that, they said, you know what? This has been fantastic. I have enjoyed the heck out of this 10 or 15 years in Belize. Now, my life's going in a different direction. I want to go back home where the grandkids are, or I want to move to Europe, or I want to buy a sailboat and travel around the world. But because you've cut your teeth, so to speak, all along the way, you've test drove, right, your risk level. You built up some resilience over time. You have built up the ability to adjust to new circumstances. You've done so knowing you've had this plan B in place. You can always go back to doing what you're doing. You started simple, maybe built up over time, and now you're in a spot in your life where you have a lot more opportunities. And that's what it's all about. Waking up each day saying, hey, you know what? Today I'm going to do what I want to do. I am going to make the decisions, how I spend my time, who I spend my time with. I have a little bit of money in reserve so that if I want to do something crazy and fun, it's not going to break the bank. I'm going to be able to do that once in a while. But all of that can be done without having a high risk tolerance, which I don't. Again, very risk adverse. So again, hopefully this helps some of you who are just sort of feeling that overwhelm, right? Because sometimes I do this as well. I have a new project or goal I'm working on. It's fantastic in the morning. It's okay in the afternoon. By the time nighttime comes, I just feel this overwhelm. Like, what am I doing? I can't do this. I don't have the skills for this. A good night's rest, wake up in the morning, say, what is the smallest thing I can do? How can I take a simple step toward making this work? And at the end of the day, hey, it doesn't work out. At least I tried. Hope this helps you guys. Take care. Keep watching the channel. Share it with someone who you think needs to see this. Maybe it's you. Email me. I'll put my email address in the video description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.